Why Saudi Arabia holds unique power in U.S. global strategy versus Russia and China. When people talk about global power, they usually mention two countries first, China and Russia. Massive armies, nuclear weapons, advanced technology. That's what power looks like on the surface. But here's what most people miss. One of the most strategically important countries for the United States isn't its biggest enemy. It's Saudi Arabia. And the reason why is hidden in something most people don't pay attention to. We've been trained to think power means control through force, war, weapons, military dominance. But modern power has evolved. Today, real influence often comes from controlling systems, not just territories. Because the world doesn't run on war anymore. It runs on energy, trade networks, financial systems, and supply chains. And if you can influence these systems, you don't need to fight to have power. At the center of everything is energy. Every economy depends on it. Factories, transport, technology infrastructure. And for decades, oil has been the most important energy source. Now imagine a country that doesn't just produce oil, but can influence how much oil enters the global market. That country becomes strategically critical. Saudi Arabia is one of those countries. It's not just an oil producer, it's one of the most influential in the world. It also plays a key role in OPEC, where production levels are coordinated. And that coordination matters, because when production changes, prices change. And when prices change, the world reacts. If oil prices rise, fuel becomes expensive, transportation costs increase, goods become more expensive, and inflation rises. And inflation affects everything: food, rent, daily life. If prices drop, costs ease, markets stabilize, and economic pressure reduces. So oil doesn't just affect energy, it affects everyday life across the planet, and Saudi Arabia has influence over that system. For decades, the United States and Saudi Arabia have maintained a strategic relationship, often simplified as energy stability in exchange for security cooperation. But in reality, it's more complex. It involves economic interests, regional stability, and long-term strategic alignment. Like any strategic relationship, it includes both cooperation and tension. Now compare this with Russia and China. Russia is often seen as a military competitor, frequently in geopolitical conflict with the U.S. China is an economic and technological rival, competing for global dominance across industries. Both relationships involve direct competition, but Saudi Arabia operates differently. It's not a direct rival and not fully dependent either. It's strategically positioned. Power isn't always about control. Sometimes it's about leverage, the ability to influence outcomes without direct confrontation. Saudi Arabia has leverage because it influences oil supply, impacts global pricing, and interacts with multiple global powers. That combination creates strategic importance. Another key factor is flexibility. Saudi Arabia maintains relationships with the United States, China, and other global players. This multi-directional engagement gives it room to maneuver, and in geopolitics, flexibility increases influence. Uncertainty also plays a role. When outcomes aren't fixed, countries pay closer attention. Decisions about oil production are watched globally, not because of fear, but because of impact. Financial markets react quickly to energy signals. Even small changes in production expectations can move stock markets, currencies, and investment strategies. That shows how deeply connected energy is to the global system. The world is changing. Renewable energy is growing. Electric vehicles are rising, and technology is evolving. But transitions take time. And during this period, oil remains critical, which means Saudi Arabia continues to play a major role. At the same time, the country is evolving internally, investing in diversification, infrastructure, and technology. It's preparing for a future beyond oil, which adds another layer to its global importance. It's not just maintaining influence, it's reshaping it. Many people think power is always visible, but some of the most important forms of power operate quietly, shaping systems, influencing decisions, and affecting outcomes indirectly. Saudi Arabia fits into this category. To understand global power clearly, you need to look at three dimensions: military strength,
economic influence, and resource control. Russia leans heavily on military strength. China emphasizes economic systems. Saudi Arabia influences through resource positioning. Each plays a different role. So the real question isn't who is strongest. The real question is who influences what the world depends on, because dependency creates importance, and energy remains one of the most critical dependencies. The next time you see a city fully lit at night or a plane taking off, remember, those systems exist because of energy flows shaped far beyond what you see. If this changed how you understand power, start looking beyond headlines and into systems. Share this video and click to watch now why the reason you fail even when you work
Unsubscribe for
hard.
more.